Gentleman from Texas, Mr. Sessions, for 5 minutes.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Director Chopra, good to see you. I must applaud you for your glibness and your ability to effectively take questions on both sides of this, from both sides of this committee, and to respectfully offer back your viewpoints. So I want to offer that to you because I appreciate forthrightness. Mr. Director, as you know, the Wall Street Journal yesterday or the day before put an article out, the CFPB targets an anti-terror tool. And essentially it's talking about selling credit header data to law enforcement. But it also, if they had written another article, been more specific also about credit information that would be available about what might be criminal history, that people who are going to lend money would have that opportunity to buy this data and information as they chose at the time they're going to give someone money, offer a loan. If you could please address both of those circumstances, because it seems like you're on the wrong side, at least in my opinion, of this issue.
Yeah, well, and to be clear, we have not proposed anything. I take very seriously the harms that we need to, we're a law enforcement agency as well. We need to be able to identify bad actors. You know, it's been nearly 4 years since then Attorney General Barr indicted 3 members of the Chinese People's Liberation Army with respect to Equifax. There's no question that sensitive data about each of us can not just be used to steal identities, but also for use by state and non-state actors. So I think we want to make sure that data is being used in ways that is appropriate here in the US. So there's not an effort to stop law enforcement or, as Congressman Sherman mentioned, to help financial institutions detect money launderers. But we also need to think
about other criminal history.
So on criminal history, I actually haven't heard a reference to anything we've been doing on criminal history. Generally speaking, any sort of background report that include in a credit report, tenant screening report, employment background check, you know, the only requirements that currently exist right now is that that data be accurate. If it's a consumer reporting agency, there's rights to dispute. So I'm happy to talk about with you separately,
Good.
but I'm not familiar about the restrictions.
I'll just do it right here. I'm going to ask unanimous consent to put into the record, Mr. Chairman, 2 articles. Number 1, CFP targets an anti-terror tool that appeared in the Wall Street Journal, and remarks of CFP Director Chopra at the White House Roundtable on protecting Americans from harmful data broker practices.
Without objection.
That is offered by the CFPB website, August 15, 2023.
Without objection.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Director, I think that the reason why we get specific about these items on both sides of the aisle is that we find that there's happy talk conversation between us and then something different appears, as in what might be the 1071 debacle that our colleague, my baseball coach, Roger Williams, chairman of the Small Business Committee, is headed up yesterday at the Rules Committee. Great discussion, great dialogue, but we're going to vote on it today. It received 5 Democratic votes in the United States Senate, I think earlier in October. My point is that I would like to, and I think you've offered this to me, conversation about these pending matters. And while I do say that while you offered that to me, sometimes in our haste, we do it here. But I would like to have conversation about this because I think it would be in everyone's best interest, including the CFPB, that we see these rollout of ideas closer to the same way.
Well, I want to do that, and I think the chairman also mentioned this also relates to privacy, you know, Fourth Amendment. There's all sorts of issues. always the best thing is when you can legislate on it.
Yes,
And
sir.
we're
Well,
very
I-
happy to do that, because the truth is,
Yes,
once
sir.
you
Well,
legislate on it,
The
it's,
Fourth Amendment is about privacy, but it's also about somebody not taking your data and information.
that's correct.
Without a court order.
Gentleman's time's expired.
Thank you very much. Mr. Director, thank you.
The
Mr.
gentleman
Chairman,
from
thank you.
Georgia, Mr.